morning. Okay, so glad to see you. I've been considering this class. I'm planning on running it at least through the end of the year, probably beyond. And I've been looking at it in regard to my own process. Who knew that I would be sitting in a little room, a room that I care very much about, that's my own little room where I do my little practice, sharing with you in this way for this length of time. And when I look at the value that I'm providing to you, it's a perceived value. I don't know what you're getting from this, but I'm sure hope it's something. And it's Friday, usually on Friday, I'm looking at, what do I have to share with you today that is of value? So there's some kind of an issue with my tech. Hold on one second. It's okay.
Low volume. Unplug the mic and put it back in.
Okay. Okay. I hope that helped. It sounds like I have a little bit of a low volume issue today. So anyway, back to where we were. So I've been looking at, what's going on right now? So much going on. And in the practice, especially the meditation practice, we're interested in cultivating space. We're interested in hearing deeply what's happening behind the words. And I remembered last night a phrase that Ram Dass shared with me about 6 years ago. He said, words are birds. And he just said it in passing, words are birds. And I thought about that phrase this week, and I went looking it up. And he said more about that, which I'll share with you later. But this idea that we are in communication with one another, conveying what is here, and the method that we have, one of the great methods we have, is through words. And we give them a lot of weight. And often in that process, what happens is the space behind the words is forgotten, right? And we've got words bludgeoning us right now if we're attempting to stay at all informed. On top of that, in regard to the yoga practice, we're looking to return to center and create a sense of spaciousness, so that those words, especially the words that are running through this thing, we think they're running through this thing, they appear to be running through this thing, that we do remember the transitory nature of those words. And by doing so, they aren't things. Those words are not things. And often when they are assembled into sentences that we say to ourselves internally and sometimes externally, we give them more weight than they really have. And so before you know it, at the end of the week yesterday, I felt like this clamoring, so much going on. And this is one reason we do practice, is to allow all of that stuff to settle so that we are in the presence once again of spaciousness. So we got a little room. So that's what we'll be doing today, is looking at how we create space through the practice and through setting up the asana. So in the asana, usually, the way that I do it is we develop the structure, a clear structure, and then in the building of that structure, we look to soften. Maybe we went a little far in the building of the structure, soften the outer edges, feel into the dynamic, pulsating, often space internally. Use the breath to move around through the body, and then just hang and be. And the being part, that's the rich. That's the beauty of the whole thing. All right? So let's practice together. Let's come over to our mat. And I thought, actually, let's come on into child's pose, just resting down. I thought today, in order to do this, we'll look at a few bird postures that have the names of birds, and see what we learn. So in our child's pose, resting down, let the forehead come to the mat. If it doesn't, find a block to place underneath the forehead. And we just built a structure, whether we know it or not. We've come into this shape. We feel inside. Notice if there's some softening that can happen. Feel inside what's happening internally this morning, whether you feel pretty energetic or maybe lethargic. Notice if you can feel without bringing words to it. It's like words are a second step away from presence. Good. Breathe into the space. And then here we are. And we gradually rise up, coming onto hands and knees. Let's tuck the left toes under, shift, take the weight back behind you. Some of you may want to make this more dynamic by drawing the right knee up or not. Let's get into the Achilles tendon, the soles of the feet. Index fingers are forward. And then place the left knee down and tuck the toes under, take the right leg back. And feel into what this side is like. So we build the structure. And then relax a little bit. Find some ease in it. Feel it from the inside out. Breathe into the spaces we don't usually breathe into. This is where we use our imagination, drawing down. And then we feel ourselves here. We might notice the space around our bodies. Just feel into that space. Good. And then releasing the knee, and then let's tuck both toes under, well, not both, all, and walk back and forth here. And then settle the feet downward, outer heels, inner heels. Lift the hips up. Good. Set the structure here so it does feel quite mountain-like, even though it's dog. Some of us have our knees bent. We want the hips high. We all inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale, exhale, and one more. And now wrap your shoulder blades around toward your sternum a little bit so we become tubular. It's definitely one of the words of the season, tubular. We inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, and let's step forward between the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold forward. Let's do that a couple of times. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. And this last one, bend the knees a lot and lengthen. Draw your hips back behind you and then folding. Good. From here, let's grasp big toes with middle and index fingers and lengthen. And fold once again. Take the elbows wide, the shoulders draw up, the feet press.
the head hangs. And so we run right through a tour of the elements, building structure, soften like water, ignite from the inside like fire. Breathe air. And then feel the space, the inner space of the body. And then let's gradually bend the knees, release your big toes, and slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to standing. Let's come into mountain pose. Yeah, find your way in. All 10 toes lift off, then they go wide. Okay, so I want to say one other thing about space before we get going here. A lot of times we think of space as being empty, like there's nothing there. And this space that we're looking at, as it is stated in the practice, is the state of pure potentiality, the state of possibility. So to be hanging in that state, it's a very creative place. It's fertile ground. It's embryonic, yes? We want to have a good, strong relationship with that space. All right, so relax your knees just a little bit, draw the palms together. Join me, if you wish, in the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Okay, we'll take the arms all the way up, interlace. Draw the whole body together, squeeze, and then extend over to your right. Use your right hand to open up the left side. And fill the left side with breath. And we'll remember while we're practicing this morning that words are birds, okay? Let's come to the other side. We just watch them rise and pass without giving them too much weight. See if we can feel in direct experience what is here right now. And then inhale, rising back up. Exhale, folding forward, out and down. And inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step back to plank. First plank, we always pause and put ourselves together here, build a strong structure. So build a strong structure, then relax what is not necessary to be quite so held. And then just feel internally what's happening in there, all the way around the body. And breathe into the spaces which could use a little bit more of your support. And then just hang for a moment. What's it like to be in this funny little shape? So funny we do this shape. We inhale, exhale, knees down, whole body down. Point your toes back behind you, pull the mat, and have the breath meet the spaces at the top of the lungs, legs press. Good, a little snake-like. One more breath. And then slowly release. Toes do tuck under. Take your hips back over your heels. And let's come to downward facing dog. We might walk back and forth, settling. Kneecaps lift. And we give ourselves a little time to just be here. Good. Fixing whatever needs to be fixed and then letting go of fixing. And see if you can feel into this breath without any words that come. And that's a task. When we bend the knees, look past the hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold, release head and neck. Now look down at your feet. Let's cross the left foot over the right foot. And take a breath in. And exhale, fold forward. Knees could be bent here as well. Feeling into the space of probably right glutes and hip. And sometimes we find congestion in a place in the body. Or contraction. See if we can go looking for the space instead of focusing on the congestion or the contraction. Where is there room? Good. A room of one's own. Virginia Woolf. You remember that book? For many of us right now, the room of one's own is in one's body because there are other people in the rooms in which we normally occupy. Now we unwind, left foot down, cross right foot over left, sink in. And slowly make your way into the space. And go slowly, slow and gentle, because then doors tend to open. Use the breath. Good. Now we inhale, lengthen, unwind that, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, releasing forward, out and down. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, step or float back, and then lower down or knees and torso down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog if you know it, pressing. Exhale, over the toes if possible, downward facing dog. Good. Set up your dwelling. And then we dwell. Those of us who tend to move fast, who pile on, who have any sort of addiction to speed, we just notice, can we hang? Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, release. Inhale, push the ground away, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, right arm under left arm now. Draw the palms together if possible, otherwise hug the shoulders. Sink, and left leg crosses over right. Okay, first bird posture of the morning. So we settle into Garudasana, eagle pose. Reminding me that right outside the window here in the trees yesterday was a hawk. We think about the qualities of those big birds. The focus, the gaze is steady. How they are usually high up, perched, watching quietly everything. Getting a lay of the land. watching thoughts rise and pass, even here. We inhale, open out. Exhale, left arm under right. Good. Bend left knee. Right leg over left, maybe crossing. Settle in and survey. Any particular concerns we have, we notice, and we grow a wider view. Widen the aperture. Hold whatever is here in a greater space. You think about one pointed focus and also peripheral vision. See if you can hang, widening. Good. Then we open out. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, big wingspan. Fold forward, out and down. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, step or float back, lowering through the way you do. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, over the toes. Build the structure. And sometimes when we come into a posture, we'll keep building the whole time, the excess fixing. So build the structure, and then relax in it a little bit. Feel into what's here. Use your breath to make a little more space. Good. Sweep the right leg up and back. Hips are square. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot forward between the hands. And high lunge, please. Extending. Rooting back through your back heel. Sinking in. Sinking in some more. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about the big toe on the front foot and the outer edge of the right heel. Draw both big toes toward each other for structure. Good. We inhale. Exhale, hands down, right leg back, meet in downward dog or take a vinyasa. And then we get quiet and watch again. Remembering that we know this and we have to remind ourselves that the body is made mostly of space. Left leg extends. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, thigh to rib cage, foot lands lightly. And we rise. And we sink. We sink and we rise. And we wake up the back leg. All right, so we've built the foundation of the house. By now we probably know, look for a place to soften so we can grow from the inside out. Support this growth with the breath. And you can consider the space inside the body, but you can also consider the space around the body. See if you can feel into that space. Called space meets space. We inhale. Exhale, hands down, left leg back, lowering through if you wish. Inhale. Exhale, back. Good. Structure. We inhale. Exhale, bend your knees with past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, chair pose, sitting down in chair. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about this fascinating relationship between the pubic bone and the coccyx, the tip of the tailbone. So move your pubic bone back toward your coccyx, then move your coccyx toward your pubic bone, and then a couple more times back and forth. Yeah. Okay. I feel that we really want to have the ability to calibrate that relationship for every single posture. Sometimes we get this idea, oh, this is exactly where the pelvis should be in a posture. No. It should be where it feels good in there. Okay? Inhale, take the arms up. Understand, what does it feel like from the inside out when you let the pubic bone move back toward the coccyx, and then go the other direction and find the middle way, a place to dwell. Good, come up onto the balls of the feet, stretching heels over balls, steady gaze. And watch the body breathe. Then land the heels. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, hands down, step or float back, lowering. Inhaling. Exhale, back. Good, find structure. Soften what we can. Feel it from the inside out. It's one of the great values of this time is that we can focus more on what's happening from the inside out. Take the right leg up and back. Inhale. Exhale, thigh to rib cage. Foot lands lightly. So you've got the heel pulling back. What we want to do here is take the arms up, then pivot left heel, rooting downward, sinking. If we're honest about it, the ASIS, the hip bones, are really more at a diagonal. We can invite them to move forward as much as feels good, and then we pause. Take the arms up. Build the structure. We build the house and then we dwell in it. And we're here long enough to let the residual, there's residual after every action we take, there is a reaction. So we have the action, the experience of the action, and then we have the experience of the reaction, and then we settle in to the space. All right, now we release the arms. We could spin onto the ball of the back foot if we wish. We're coming all the way down, and we're taking the right arm under the right leg. The arms go back behind us like wings of a great bird. And we take the right sit bone toward the left sit bone a little bit. We might grasp the hands behind the back. We might release head and neck, steady gaze, navel to spine. Action, reaction. A little space. And that space creates the potential for a wise response. Hands down. Okay, we'll play a little game here. Lower the hips. Maybe take the right leg forward. It may not, the foot may not come off. We see what happens. Some of us are probably playing with elbow under hip, back leg flies. And then we sweep the right leg back, downward dog, or take a vinyasa. Build the house. Don't overbuild. Feel the space inside. And each breath supports us being present. So present for each breath. Left leg extends, hips are square. Inhale, exhale, thigh in, foot lands lightly. We rise, and then we might root the back heel, but we might not too. We might keep it a lunge position, settling. Good, lower ribs draw in, structure. And relax in a little bit. Feel inside what is here. We're very honest about it. Include whatever we find. Use the breath to tether attention. Here for each breath. Okay, now come up onto the ball of the foot, folding forward. Take the left arm underneath. So it could be your fingertips are on the floor like this. We draw the left sit bone toward the right sit bone. We want to get the shoulder in as close as we can. Some of us will take the arms up. Steady gaze. Feel the structure. Soften a little bit. Maybe the hands find each other. And we root our awareness in this moment. Like this is it, man. This is all we got right here. Yes, all right. We take the hands to the ground. And we play a little game. So I've got my leg right on top of the shoulder. I might send the foot forward if it'll come off the ground, yeah? And we might fold forward, lifting back leg off. Good, it's like a boat, a sail of a boat. Make the spaces really big between the feet. And then landing, take it back. Downward dog, build the house. Relax and enjoy the house. Investigate all the rooms of the house. Have it be somewhere we really want to dwell, this house of the body. And we state that commitment through the breath. We're here for each breath. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Now, step or float your feet to the outside of your hands, please. And then we sink into Malasana. Some of us will have a block. We will place it under the sit bones. This is so nice. And the palms come to the inside. But if you don't have a block, that's a good idea too, actually. Let the hips drop. So right outside my window right now is a bird at the bird bath washing. So we sink. You feel internal energy dropping a little bit. Yeah, so you know, when we build the house in any one of these postures, if the structure is shaky, it's hard to do the internal work. That's why we have props. That's why, like, if you're up here and there's a lot of movement here, it's very difficult to relax. You could also roll your mat under your heels. So build the structure and then tour around in there. And when we find contraction or holding, two ways to deal with that. One is give yourself some space, give it some space. Like, let's say we felt some holding in the top chest area, give it some room. Or move in toward it very tenderly, like a friend that's there to listen. What we want to do though is give it some room, come in a little, be kind about it. Don't try to push it away. It never works. Never works. Okay, so hands come to the ground. Yes, indeed. It's time for another bird pose. This one's crow. We look forward. We set up the structure. Part of the structure is an internal structure. The gaze is forward like another leg or another hand. The thighs are in close. The knees come to the triceps and the feet lift off. So it could be one foot lifts to center and the other one finds it. Squeeze the arms. Draw navel to spine. Protract the shoulder blades, which means widen them. And then down we come. Back to Malasana, landing. Notice the action we took. And now we're feeling the reaction to that, the residual of that action. Before we go on, let's see if we can just let it settle a little bit more back to the space. So our lives are moving so fast. We're going from action to action to action to action. Very little time for reaction. Where's that reaction going to go? Almost no time for the wisdom of response that's beneath the reaction. All right, let's do another crow. Hands down, knees in. Hug, navel to spine, round shoulder blades. Look forward. Up, off we come. Be a crow. Crow in all the different traditions is such a storyteller. And they also like shiny things. Feet land. This is crow season right now. Palms back in prayer position. Let everything get quiet, unlike a crow. Okay, let's take the hands to the floor, step or float back, lowering through. Inhale, exhale over the toes. Feeling into the shape. Good. At home in the body. We would want to be at home in the body, wouldn't we? We inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push the ground away, rise all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, release, pause, mountain pose. And feeling in now, all that movement, then stillness. We may feel movement on top of stillness. See if you can contact stillness. Okay, so I want us to do a posture that, to be quite frank with you, it's difficult for me to talk and do it at the same time. So I've been avoiding it while I've been doing these little experiences. But let's give it a shot. So we'll interlace the fingers around the shin and the gaze is steady. Okay, no, not much problem there, probably. And if you need a wall, please get yourself to a wall. Growing the structure. Relax what you can. Notice top shoulders and the jaw. Probably don't need to be involved too much. Now we'll take the right leg forward, or we'll keep the knee bent. Does it straighten is the first question. It could be the knees bent. We walk the hands up the leg, and we fold the belly over the thigh to the extent that we can. The gaze is steady. Eventually the gaze goes straight down. Navel to spine the whole time. Keep some awareness of the center of this posture. And then gradually release, come back. Mountain pose. Settle in. That was a lot of action. Now feel the reaction. In the body. Okay, back to a little space. Here we go. Take the knee in, interlace. Steady gaze. Outer hips draw in toward each other. Find navel to spine to lift the leg. Now, if you wish to go on, straighten the leg any amount. Gaze is steady. Walk the hands, folding forward. Looking down. Good, then slowly release. Come back up, standing in mountain pose. Allow the body to come to stillness. And feel into the space of the whole body. Noticing what we can feel in the body as we stand here. Just building natural intelligence. Natural intelligence is there. It's really having contact with natural intelligence. And we take the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, step or float back. Vinyasa if you wish. And we're going to lower the knees to the floor. And we'll take a block under the sit bones if the pelvis doesn't come down to the ground. We do want to have the feet parallel with each other. Couple problems with this pose, right? Ankles can be tight. If you have a blanket, roll a blanket right under the ankles. Could be this does not work for your knees at all, in which case block or bolster. Or some of you may be taking a blanket under calf or above calf and under thigh. Good, hero pose. Press the feet. Press the toes, yeah, so we can grow some length in the spine. Okay, so we've come to build the structure. Now we're here hanging out, feeling what's here. Some of you may be looking for more length across the front of the thighs, in which case, here's a great example of coccyx. Your seahorse tail moves toward pubic bone and then come down. Come down so the knees stay on the floor, please. I can't see you, but I'm trusting that you keep the knees down. And then create a structure where you can dwell relatively comfortably here. Not getting ahead of ourselves. So we can do the work to look within. Feeling the container opening in various places right now, all about this front. And then we gradually rise. Come on out all the way up. Okay, so we'll release the left leg. Now when we do this, these postures are really interesting to teach on camera because I can't see you. And if I could see you, if I saw that you were tipping like this, I would bring a blanket for underneath your left sit bone. So your pelvis is neutral, okay? We bend the knee, maybe. We draw the thigh in close to the rib cage. And we see where this leg will go. Will it extend up? It might not. We might be keeping the knee in close. If it does, you also can have a strap around the ball of the foot, extending and making like a heron, the bird that stands with one leg in the water for a long time, waiting for the fish. Becomes very quiet. So much we can learn from our animal friends. Sometimes we may not know which direction to take. So we get really quiet inside. And we wait. And we listen. And we let go of our attachment of the time schedule when the answer is supposed to come. But we're attentive. And there's some calm. Now I'm projecting onto the heron. There's probably some peace. Now we bend the knee. We might turn, externally rotate, left thigh bone. You can take hold of it. Draw the shin in close. This could be really uncomfortable for some of us. We're honest. We might move back and forth here a little bit for some flossing. Okay, let's let that whole thing go. Switch sides, make it easy on ourselves. Okay, just because the pelvis was tipped on one side does not mean anything about this side, so be sure pelvis is flush. Then draw knee in. Extend if possible, wrap a strap or keep it in close. Root the sit bones. Make room for this experience to be entirely different. And we get quiet. You think about the heron's foot lands in the water and the ripples that go out. And the heron is there long enough for those ripples to subside. With each breath, we visit the inside of the shape. Has a little more space opened up anywhere. Okay, so we can roll the thigh out a little bit. See if there's any space in here. We might actually roll onto one sit bone a little. And we release that leg, bring them both around, cross, hands to the ground, legs back, lower through. Inhale, we open. Exhale, back over the toes. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, and bring the legs forward, how you do. Then sitting down, give ourselves a hug. Thighs close to rib cage. Resting the mind a little bit. Boat pose when you're ready. Knees can be bent, legs can be straight. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Palms in prayer position, land the feet. Now slowly, one vertebrae at a time, go slow. Making our way down onto our backs. And let's just rest for a moment. Soles of the feet together, knees go wide. Close the eyes and feel into this shape. So what do I always say this. It's like a basket, the Supta Baddha Konasana. Or a container, like a clay pot. We feel the space inside that basket or pot. The space of pure potential. How easy it is to just disregard this space in and around. We could project ourselves way out, miles and miles and miles above the earth. And look down, and what we've got is a whole lot of space. And we've got this container of the body, this space inside. What kind of space do we want to bring to ourselves and those around us? This is what we can choose. Now we do have a bridge or wheel in our very near future. Let's draw the legs back in, the feet are parallel. And let's rise up. Slide the shoulder blades in. You could interlace the fingers or grasp the sides of the mat. Find what feels like the hub of your bridge, the center of your bridge. Notice the spine. And the shape the spine takes. Some of us will take the hands under the shoulders. We'll rise up onto the top of the head. The arms are parallel. and up we go. Releasing head and neck, pressing into the feet. Wherever we are, we've created the structure, and then we go inside. Include it all and get very quiet. From the center, and gradually down we come. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, and we rest and feel into the residual of that action. Including everything that's here. And noticing that whatever is here is resting in the space. I think there's one more in our very near future. Bridge, rising up. We could move right foot in toward midline and send the left leg up. We could have the hands at the hips or interlace the fingers behind the back. Or we take wheel, hands under shoulders, come onto the top of the head, rise up. Feet are parallel. Good solid structure. Then go looking around. Right foot could come to midline, left leg extends up. If you have one leg up, lower it, come to the other side, right leg. And then slowly we come down. Take your time. Soles of the feet together, knees go wide. Set up the structure and then feel inside. Let's take a Garudasana twist. Draw the knees in, cross the right leg over the left, arms out like cactus. Allow the legs to travel to the right, looking to the left. You could push the sole of the left foot or the ball of the left foot in a little bit. And then coming back, crossing other direction. Unwinding. Take your legs long. Let's come into Shavasana now. Laying the body down, turning the palms upward, releasing the skull to the floor. Releasing the eyes, the eyeballs into the nests of the eye sockets. Releasing the tongue, the roof of the mouth, softening the outside of the body, going on inside. feeling for what is here in this space. Remembering that phrase, words are birds, how they come and go, how much meaning we assign to them. Remembering that so many of our greatest experiences, our most phenomenal experiences in life, we will say, oh, beyond words. That's where we're headed. We're headed to the realm of beyond words. Notice the silence between the words. So in keeping with this theme this morning, we might remember words like this from the Tao Te Ching. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center whole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it's the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Resting in awareness. And when you're ready, slowly, toes and the fingers move a little bit. And we draw one knee at a time into the chest. Feel free to remain where you are if you prefer. Rolling to one side. Let the head rest. May the benefits of our practice this morning benefit all beings everywhere. May they be happy. May we be healthy. May we be at peace. And we slowly make our way up to a seat. Building the house, the structure. Settling, feeling the space inside and the space around us. And we might just create a little motivation for the day, the space that we're going to bring to this day, regardless of circumstance. Drawing the palms together at the heart. And we'll close with one Om. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Om. Bring the hands to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady and present and joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve. May our words improve upon the silence
and our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. Okay, I should count how many of these I've done since March. Class number, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Just a reminder that in November, whatever you donate for this class will go to my good friend Lorian Niergarter, who has a cancer organization where she is running classes for people with cancer in Florida, which is to say that anyone could take them anywhere. And the information is in the chat. And if you wish to make a donation, you can go to Breathe Together Yoga and do it there. All right? Okay. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next Saturday. Hopefully sooner. Take care.